928-3310. And we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Monday. Oh, yeah. 31st day of July, 2017. So glad you could join us today. You know, I've had to allow it to become comical because every day there's some new little glitch. It's, I want to say fascinating, but you know, that's not the right word. I mean, I know my screens are showing, you can hear my voice, all that's, it's all happening. But I don't even want to go into the technical details of it because you go, why do I need to know that? I don't know. Anyway, how you doing? All right, hope you had a great weekend. Hope you spent some quality time with the family. I saw you in church on Sunday. It was always nice. Tip of the hat. If you are returning to this radio program, by the way, we are now in our second decade of broadcast history, not just this live 2-hour show that we do every day, but by golly, 24/7. Second decade. Huh. Who'd have thought? Not me, that's for sure. Oh my goodness. I had such other plans, but let's see, what is it? How did John Lennon say it? Plans are what we make while God laughs, or something along that line. Anyway, if you're returning, welcome back. If you're here for the first time, a very special welcome to you. So glad to have you with us. I got several emails on Friday regarding the workshop on Thursday night. Can't tell you how much I appreciate all of the kind comments. We got into something right at the very end that apparently many of you found very informative. So I assume we'll be having some mentoring sessions on that topic in the coming week and weeks. But thank you for the kind emails, and I will do my very best. If that's been rendered, I will get it up on the members area of the website tomorrow? Nope. Wednesday? If I can, I'll do it today. Alright? Now, if you can't see the chart I have up, you haven't missed much, but just in case you want to see it, or you want to see the charts that Michael's going to put up in a minute, go to our homepage at cfrn.net. On the right hand side of the page, there's a big microphone. Click it. It'll take you to a page that says Watch Live Now. Click it. You'll be good to go all the way through midnight tonight. Because tomorrow is the first day of August, and everybody has to re-register. In fact, you know what I'll try to do? Again, no promises. I got so many mentoring sessions. I've got it. In fact, I don't know what I'm going to do, because I have some software that I've been being trained on for like 3 months, and my final class is today, and I've got 2 mentoring sessions. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but if I can get it posted, I will. All right. Okay. So tomorrow, you won't get an email that says join the radio show an hour before the show, unless you go to the page at cfrn.net, click the big microphone, blah blah blah, and register. Once you register, you're good through the whole month. Now, here's what happens once you register. You get an email an hour before the show each day, and it says, hey, show starts in an hour. Whenever you're ready, click here and join the show with one-click access. Now, joining the show with one-click access means not only do you get to see the charts, you also get to participate in the discussion. We have a global audience, so if you ever had something you want to, get off your chest, something you want to share, a thought, an idea, a trading tip, I don't care. You share it with me, and I'll share it with the world. Deal? All right. Now, for those of you who that all just seems like way too much work, go to youtube.com/CFRN. When you get there, click live, and you're there. All right. Now, I brought this up the other day, and apparently it fell on deaf ears. We had 934 subscribers at YouTube. We have over 1,000 on Google+. We got, I think, 2,500 on Twitter. I forget how many on Facebook. But YouTube does something. They don't pay you money, but they give you some kind of something, a goodie bag, I don't know, when you crest 1,000 subscribers. So if 70 something odd of you could scoot over there today, and it's free, okay? You go there, youtube.com/CFRN. There's a little button up there that says subscribe. Put in your info, guess what? You're subscribed. What does that mean? I don't think anything. Oh, I think when I post a new video, you get a neat little email that says, hey, Dwayne just posted a video. I think that's it. All right. So Would you do that? It would mean so much to me. You have no idea. All right, let's look at the numbers from around the world, see if they're any better than ones we got here at home. Although when you look, I mean, the Dow's up 74 points. But then the Nasdaq's down 25. And the S&P is at the flat line. That's just odd. Russell 2000 is down a little over 6. Any movers, any shakers? Not even close. Commodity basket. Crude oil is down 40 cents, trading 49.31 last. We don't do natural gas here. Gold is down 70 cents, trading 12.74.60. You go, wait a minute. How is it gold could be down 70 cents and trading 12.74.60? It's because we rolled over to the December contract. So we got a little bit of an artificial push towards that ever-present, ever-looming psychological 1,300 number. Man, I think if we could just get north of that thing, we could cruise. So go buy some gold. While you're subscribing, it'll take 10 seconds to subscribe at youtube.com/CFRN. Okay, when you're done with that, go buy some gold. Push it over 1,300. Would you? Could you? Oh, pick up some silver too. That would be great. All right. Okay. Now we got that out of the way. Let's go down to the Asian markets, where the Nikkei closed down 34 points. Shanghai closed down 20 points. That's a little over 0.5%. And the Hang Seng closed up 344 points. That's a little over 1.25%. European markets are mixed as well. FTSE closed up 4 points. The DAX closed down 44 points. And the CAC closed down 37. The mover and shaker there would be the CAC, because that's 0.75%. So there you have it. Asia mixed, Europe mixed, the US mixed. I'm always mixed. Actually, I'm stirred, not shaken, but, you know, hey, nobody wants to brag. Moscow, big news, has retaliated against new U.S. sanctions over the weekend by demanding that 755 diplomatic workers, many of them American, be cut from the U.S. Embassy in Moscow and from U.S. diplomatic missions in St. Petersburg. The reprisal was far from surprising. President Barack Obama issued new sanctions in December, and Congress has been debating the legislation for months before recently passing it, leaving Russian President Vladimir Putin ample time to contemplate a response. The White House said in a statement last week that President Donald Trump intended to sign the bill, but there was no indication that the legislation pleased the president, who has said he still harbors doubts about whether Russia was actually behind last year's hacks on the Democratic National Committee and Hillary Clinton's campaign chairman, John Pizzagate Podesta. President Trump read early drafts of the bill and negotiated regarding critical elements of it. He's now reviewed the final version and, based on its responsiveness to his negotiations, approves the bill and intends to sign it. Even if Trump is inclined to take steps the Russians would welcome, both houses of Congress have now indicated overwhelmingly that they don't trust Trump in dealing with Russia and are going to impose major limits on his leeway for action. Moscow probably won't rule out economic warfare as one phase of a multi-pronged response. Instead, the diplomatic tit-for-tat could be a convenient place for both to pause. Can you say Cold War, boys and girls? Will we now have to start hiding under our desk again? Holy smokes. What's really going on? And China, by the way, Chinese President Xi Jinping on Sunday presided over a massive military parade from an open-top Jeep, declaring the world is not peaceful and peace needs to be defended. Now, you know what? My God, that sounds so good if it wasn't coming from a communist. As China's show of force demonstrates, Beijing may have the will and the strength to replace the U.S. as the world's defender of peace. We already know they have a larger standing army. They just don't have the technology yet. Our heroic military has the confidence and capabilities to preserve national sovereignty, security, and interest, and to contribute more to maintain world peace. Friends, I'm telling you something. If China becomes the defenders of world peace, if that doesn't send shivers down your shivers and give your goosebumps, check your pulse. If you have an Apple Watch, it'll do it for you. China's massive military modernization and increasing assertiveness have irked many of its neighbors in the region, except North Korea, because China doesn't seem to want to do anything about North Korea. China showed off new mobile intercontinental ballistic missiles that it says can reach the U.S. in 30 minutes. Think about that. They fire a rocket and 30 minutes later, Manhattan's gone. Along with its J-20 stealth interceptor jets, and Xi inspected thousands of troops drawn from the 2 million strong People's Liberation Army on its 9th anniversary. Can you imagine Laundry Day with a 2 million man standing army? The historian Alfred McCoy estimates that by 2030, China, a nation of 1.3 billion, that's B as in billion, will surpass the U.S. in both economic and military strength, essentially ending the American empire and Pax Americana the world has known since the close of World War II. Are we going to sit by and let this happen? Is Trump going to sit by and let this happen? Will his predecessor sit by and let this happen? All I can say is, Granny, get your guns. Get your gold, get your guns, and, of course, get your Jesus, you know? I'm a little bit frightened. But I have that one security thing on TV, so I'll sleep well tonight. All right, let's go to Michael. Enough chit chat. You can see what happened overnight if you want to. Nothing to write home about, that's for sure. Here is the 30th day of July, which was yesterday. So we opened up right in a zone from last week, and we kind of swung down and swung up, squared off, swung down, and now the question is, this pullback into this zone, is it going to become, these are last week's zones, but this pullback, is it going to become good resistance for a leg down, or are we going to punch through and get up to this zone? I can promise you, there's very few absolutes in trading, one of those two will happen. So, Mike, what's up, buddy?
Well, you just described my day.
Oh,
A whole lot of nothing.
hey,
We did get the gold.
did you get the video from Thursday Night Rendered?
I am loading all of them. I was back.
How many are we behind?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah. So
I told
I'm
him
loading them
I
all
told him I would try to get them up, but then I realized that I have 2 mentoring sessions. I've got the last class I'm attending on this software I've been trying to learn for 3 months now, and I have no idea how I'm going to get it all done. You got any free time?
Yeah, I can do the mentoring sessions.
Can you? Oh, that'd be awesome, man. I'll go to the class. Yeah, I don't know who they're with, but one's at 4 and one's at 4:45.
4 and 4:45.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will take care of them. I'll find out who they're with.
And if it turns out that it's something to do with something particular to do with me and the couple things that I do, tell them that I'll be happy to meet with them later on in a week or something.
Okay.
But chances are, whatever the question is, you can take care of it. And it might be good for if it's somebody who's been through several mentoring sessions. It's probably really good to kind of switch it up and let them hear your side of the story.
Okay.
Although we both wrote the same book, we tell the story a little bit differently. We see the story a little bit differently. So, and that's a good thing, because I think it helps everyone have a well-rounded view. Now, Michael's going to tell you guys how to take the free trial. If you haven't taken it yet, if you've been on the trial, he'll tell you how to become a partner. He'll tell you all that and much more, everything that happened in the live training room today. And then when he's done, I will be sitting right here waiting to talk to you.
And the way that these videos are being rendered right now, they should all be done in the next 20 minutes.
Okay.
Next 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Probably.
Once they're rendered, it doesn't take me that long to get them up, unless I have some hitch in my giddy up. But so far, that computer has... Don't even say it, Dwayne. Just knock on wood and shut up. All right, buddy, it's yours.
I'm not going to. Okay. All right. Where is my... Here it is. Okay. Here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Monday, the 31st day of July, 2017. Let's see. Today in the live training room. Well, first of all, if you have not taken a free trial with us, to sign up for the free trial, just go to the homepage here at CFRN.net. Right up here at the very top, this banner will drop down that says, sign up for the CFRN live training room. 100% free trial. Use our indicators, learn our strategy. Click here. When you click there, you will be brought to this page right here, where we ask for your first name, your email address, and your phone number. Click on register now, and once you click register now, you'll be sent a confirmation link. Okay, you must click the confirmation link. Okay, once you do that, then we know you took the trial, and we can
That's very nice. Thank you.
take care of everything. Send you all the information you need. Okay, Valerie, yours is at 4:45. Okay, we will talk at 4:45. Valerie, do you want to do a meeting, or do you just want to talk? Do you just need to talk? Okay. Now, the spreadsheet. All right, it is the last day of the month. To read the spreadsheet, if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today we made 10 ticks in the euro, and we lost 3 ticks on crude. And that was the very last trade of the day. It actually, when I was doing the spreadsheet, it stopped out. So I had to come back and change the spreadsheet. So we were at 112.50, but then we dropped down to 32.50. We did get the goal for the day. We did end positive, so it still stays a green day. And it took us 86 minutes and 7 trades today to get to 112.50, and we took a total of 7. Actually, that's 8 now, because that last one stopped out. So on the month now, gross profit $2,600. That's over 19 days, averaging 136 per day. And on the year, $21,235. That's over 141 days, averaging 156 per contract per 2-hour day. Okay. Yeah. All right. So now let's get into it. Okay. Okay. Just send me your phone number, okay, Valerie, and I'll call you. All right. I was going to show you what happened today. In gold, we had very little opportunity. One trade right there we took, and it was break even. Okay, we didn't do anything in here. Well, first we didn't do anything here because the slingshot's wrong, and there was no opportunity in here. The black step line crossed down below the BBC, and nothing since then. It's just been an awful day. Well, I mean, quiet day. All right, and the euro had some good volatility here. This is where we got our goal for the day, was right in here, but we stopped out first on the euro. We had to stop out here, and we missed one there. And we picked up 8 ticks here and 10 ticks here. And then it reset the cycle and gave a couple more opportunities right in here. Okay, and you see the volatility it had during the break here. You know, there were some good trade opportunities there in that volatility. And I had circled this when Dwayne started talking, you know, at the top of the hour. They had a nice shorting opportunity right in there. A couple more happened as well since then. So the euro, we ended with plus 10 today. Okay, plus 10. Crude, this last one right here is what put us down on crude. We were break even here. We got 5 ticks profit there. Missed one there. I didn't want to do this because it was a momentum trade going right into dynamic resistance. Then we did this one right at the end, and it stopped out while I was doing the spreadsheet. During the break, you know, it wasn't trending here, so I wouldn't have done anything during the break. Okay, and the soybeans, we did one break-even trade here on the soybeans, right there. Okay, and you see this huge gap right here? I was saying earlier that I think it's going to try to fill this gap. It took it a while to get through the bottom of the gap right here. It took it a while to get through it, but now that it's through it,
the difference between making money or throwing it away.
30, but now that it's through it, it wouldn't surprise me to see it get all the way up here. All right. And the ES, wonderful. ES. Well, if I move this trend line, and we have no trade anyway because it was going right down into dynamic support that had not been broken. So the ES started out in this zone, then it made a big leg down right here. Did not give us a trade setup, but it went right down to the next zone, and then it just stuck there. And now you can see it's trying to break out of that zone, but just isn't doing it. All right, and now back here. Let me just look. 3 complete, 1 in progress. I think that was last week's. That's just about done now. All right. If you have not taken the free trial with us, go to the home page here at CFRN.net. Right up here at the top, it says sign up for the CFRN Live Training Room, 100% free trial. Use our indicators, learn our strategy. Click here. So you click there and fill out these 3 things. Okay. Click on register now, and when you do that, you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on that confirmation link. Okay. Once you click that link, then, and only then, will you be sent all the information you need to get into the room. Now, that said, tomorrow, everyone who is in here who wants to come to the afternoon session is going to have to do this again, right? Because it's a new month. You got to click on the big microphone right here, and then scroll down to where it says Watch Live Now, right there, and click on that, and then fill out this little form. All right, when you fill out this little form, you'll be good for the whole month of August. All right. That is that. Okay, so with that, we can head back out to Studio A in fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, overlooking the nation's largest city park. Good, Pete. Hey, I forwarded your email to that fella that I was talking to you about the other day.
Oh, and I wanted to ask you a question. I sent you an email. I don't know if you had a chance to read it. One of our partners signed up for the free trial twice yesterday. Did you happen to see that?
I saw your email and I responded to it.
Did you? Okay, I just haven't had a chance to read your response. Okay. I just want to make sure everything was okay with him.
I think he was there this morning. I can
Okay.
check.
All right. Well, if you need some special help,
No,
let me know.
he's here too. He's here right now.
Hey, buddy.
So,
Yeah. Once you're a partner, you don't have to. You're included in everything. Anything and everything we do, you automatically qualify. You don't have to sign up or anything at all.
Yeah. Once you become a partner during the mentoring session, every Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. the email with the link and stuff goes out. So you'll be getting that. You're on that list, and you'll be getting that every Monday morning during mentoring. Okay.
Oh, and I wanted to ask. I think it's Bill S. or William S. A number of weeks he didn't get his email on Monday morning, but last Monday I gave him the GoToWebinar phone number. And he was going to call them and try to figure out what was happening because it wasn't in his promotions folder. Do you know if he got his today?
Well, he didn't say he didn't get it, so
okay.
He's not in here right now.
William S. Billish, you're not in here right now? Okay.
No,
all right. All right. Well, I hope everything's fine with him. Yeah. I would, if he's in the training room tomorrow, I would like to know what...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was there this morning.
What GoTo told him, so because then that might apply to some other people. Because you know how for so long it went to the promotions folder. Lord only knows where they're sending it now.
Yeah.
Jury
all those
deliberations.
uploads are complete.
Oh, are they? Okay. Jury deliberations are underway for this Shkreli guy. I don't know if you know. Do you know who he is?
I do not.
Okay, he's the bad boy of pharmaceuticals. He's in his early to mid 30s. He's ran 2 hedge funds into the ground. He was CEO of 2 public companies. He found a drug, Daraprin, that sold for like $12 a pill, and he was able to buy the rights to it for practically nothing and jacked it up to $750 a pill because he figured, because of the type of cancer drug that it was, that insurance companies would be the ones that would get stuck with that $750 per pill bill. And he's a lonely guy. He sits at home at night in his apartment in Manhattan with his webcam pointed at him. He doesn't do weird stuff. He just sits there, surfs the net, answers the phone occasionally. And then when he goes to bed, he... fully clothed or with pajamas, whatever, he goes to bed, he points the webcam at himself and goes to sleep. And so all the world can watch him sleep. I think he has obviously some deep-seated, emotional issues, and that he doesn't want to be alone, but yet he has no friends. Nobody hanging out over at the pad or anything. But you got to be pretty smart. You probably got out of high school if you've run, by 30, if you've run 2 hedge funds, even if you run them into the ground, the fact that somebody let you run them, and CEO of 2 public companies, my goodness. But he's like an evil genius kind of character out of a Batman movie or something. But then Batman's kind of an evil genius, isn't he? Maybe I better put him in a Superman movie. I don't know. Who do you think would win, Batman or Superman?
Superman.
Of course. Silly rabbits that argue for Batman. Come on. Dude's got a cave, a flashy car, and a cape. Wink, wink.
Not all those fancy toys, though.
The old utility belt. I'll never forget, man. When I was about 8 years old for my birthday, I got a Batman utility belt. And the little grappling hook thing?
Yes.
Yep. I tried to climb over my bedroom door. I threw it up and I hooked it. It's plastic, but I threw it up and it hooked on the door, and I was gonna scale the wall like Batman. Yeah. I was in traction for a while. No, I wasn't in traction, but it did hurt when I fell. Mom's, what's wrong, son? Nothing. Batman doesn't cry. Okay. Well, then shut up and come to dinner. All right. Okay, buddy. Recap of the recap.
The recap. Today it took 86 minutes and 7 trades to get to 112.50.
Uh-huh.
And if I had put the mouse away, that's where I would have ended the day.
Okay. Now, let me ask you a question. We've explained to everybody why we trade one contract in the live trading room, because we don't want new people. And now, I'm going to tell you guys something. I'm going to pull back the curtain here. I'm going to open the kimono, to turn a phrase. And I'm going to tell you that even though we only trade one contract, and even though we hammer home you can't go live until you have 10 consecutive days in a row in sim where you make $100 and 10 trades or less, guess what happens? People still go out and blow up their accounts. It's a rare occasion, but when it's mentoring session time and I hear weeping on the other end, I know somebody has broken the rules. Because if you don't break the rules, that won't happen. Okay? If you do break the rules, it will happen. That's why we created the rules. Because it happens to 90% of the population outside of the walls of CFRN. Our numbers are much better. Okay? Nobody gets rich overnight, but they do have the skills, the tools, the knowledge, everything that they need to build their own trading business with a solid foundation underneath it, okay? And then they can build it at the pace that's comfortable to them. We have the 2420 blueprint, which is designed to take you from 1 to 20 contracts over a period of 24 months. Now, for some people, that might be a little fast. Okay, if you want to cut it in half, that's fine. But for those who think it's too slow, we really should have a session, you know, because it really isn't too slow. Not if you really want to build a business, okay? There's building a business, and there's taking a weekend junket to Vegas. Now, trust me, if you take everything you own, bet the farm, and the livestock on red, and that sucker comes up red, you be living high on a hog for a mighty long time. But if it comes up on black, guess what? They're going to drag you out of that place because you haven't paid your bill yet. So, anyway, stick with the rules, guys. Those of you that are partners, I know some days it's painful, especially in quiet markets, okay? When there just isn't a lot of movement, you know. I had an email. Where did that thing go? I just want to share the email. Of course, I'm not going to, you know, use any names or anything. I wanted to know if you had a trading room subscription. I don't use Ninja. I hate it. So the indicators won't be any good to me. Now, anybody that's been around a while knows you don't have to use Ninja on our system. In fact, we actually prefer DT Pro, but we did the Ninja thing because there were so many Ninja people, and we've even been trying to experiment with that other thing. What's it called, Mike?
Multicharts.net.
Multicharts.net through AMP, I believe.
Yeah.
So, do you have a trading room subscription? I don't use Ninja. I hate it. So the indicators won't be any good to me. And learning your method would just end up in the pile of methods and courses I've purchased over the years. So I was so perplexed when I read it. Then it goes on to say, I'll take your free trial next week, but figured I would just explain my interest up front. Well, that's just it. You didn't explain any interest. You explained your disinterest. You won't use our indicators, and you won't use our method. Are we like leprechauns? They can rub our head and just go off and make a whale of money? Is that true?
Yeah, that's what they think. Yeah.
Well, they rub my head in your belly, but anyway. All right, buddy, I know you got to run. Hey, thanks for doing those mentoring sessions, and I will really try to get that class completed today. She's patient, but I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, and I can hear it in her voice. She gets exasperated, but I keep telling her, I go, look, you were there when this was created. You've been there every step of the way. You've made all the training videos. You already know everything. For me, it's like learning a foreign language. It's like, you know. And by the way, we talked about coding the other day and encouraging your kids to code. I read an article this morning that says if you're going to learn how to code, that right now the most lucrative is Python.
Really?
And yeah, Python. But that other, the one that Apple's pushing, I can't think of the doggone name of it. Apple will give you the books. They'll give you the software. They'll give you every tool you need to learn that code from start to finish. And when you complete the test at the end, they guarantee you a job starting salary 100 gee whiz a year. I know. I looked at the first couple. I have the books. Swift. That's what it's called. I downloaded the books and I realized after 2 pages it had been a while since I'd been to school, so I haven't given up on it. I mean, I would just like to know how to, not just use a computer. You buy software, put it in, and use it. I'd like to be able to make a computer do stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not just use it, but make it dance the way I want it to dance. So, anyway. All right, dude. Later.
Okay.
Oh, let me get the charts.
All right.
Any
and
unanswered questions in the chat box?
Well, John just said need some help getting indicators up and right. I'll send you my workspace, John. All you have to do is make sure the indicators are loaded from the indicator store, and then just open up my workspace and save it. Okay.
Yeah, and then also, if you have any questions, Bert is back from vacation, and he would be more than happy to help you. He is so good with these things. 866-928-3310, and ask him if he's going to do a webinar later this week, and that might really be beneficial for you to go to. And those get archived, and you can go back and watch them again, a couple times. Just like this girl who's teaching me this software, it's like, she goes, I taught you that yesterday. And I'm like, okay. Could you explain it again? So, anyway. All right. Take care, buddy.
All right. Okay. All right. And I just sent it to you, John.
Yes, John. He is the broker. His name is Bert. 866-928-3310. Okay? Alrighty then. Let us, since I can't say much about this chart, just for the moment, let's take a look at the headlines and see what the heck's going on. Oh, Facebook got its first downgrade today. Yeah. An analyst came out with a sell rating on Facebook. Life inside Snap has changed a lot since its IPO. Business Insider dug deep into the company behind Snapchat, from concerns over stock to its culture of secrecy. And for those of you that don't know what Snap is, it's another one of those unicorn companies. Nobody remembers 2000, when all the tech companies blew up. Oh no, build it, they'll come. Yeah. Okay. If you say so. But, I mean, again, I'm the guy that told you. I'm the guy that told every one of you who had never heard about Bitcoin when it was $2. And I can't even. I'll hurl if I finish the sentence. Okay. Around the time of Snap's initial public offering in early March, employees got a rare chance to ask the CEO, Evan Spiegel, anything on their minds. Unlike the town hall meetings that Google, Facebook, and other tech companies handle or have, the Q&A at Snap was a written affair, using a shared document Employees submitted questions to the company's 27-year-old leader. These guys are they're gonna come out of the womb running companies. The result revealed a common anxiety. About 1 dozen of the questions were a variation of whether employees should worry about Snapchat's competitors, Facebook, Instagram, which appeared to be crimping Snapchat's rapid growth. Spiegel's responses were short, and the one-word answer no was all that was written next to some of the queries. According to multiple people with knowledge of the document, other answers of Spiegel explained how employees should not think about the competition and should instead focus on delivering the best products and on innovating. Now, he's absolutely 100% correct there. 5 months later, the nervousness percolating within Snap has not gone away. It has spread beyond the company's Southern California headquarters and rattled investors. Snap has lost billions of dollars in value, and the stock is trading 50% below the peak it reached on its first day of trading. Now, don't forget, Facebook sold off mighty and hard, okay, when it went public. In fact, I predicted Facebook would fall to $12. It only made it down to $18. And I said on the air, I'm glad I was wrong, because I don't want to see anybody lose money. But that's just the value that I saw in the company. That was before they had advertising revenue. Now it's a whole new ballgame. All right. In the coming days, the window for employees and insiders to sell their shares will finally open. This will present an important test of confidence in the company. Anytime a company goes public, if you've been given shares like you got paid in pizza and Red Bull and shares, there's a period of time, a cooling off period, once the company goes public, that you're finally allowed to sell your shares if you want to. Okay? Obviously, if they're trading at a higher price, you might keep them or sell some of them. If they're worth 50% of what you thought they were, you might be tempted to sell them. And if all of the employees and muckety-mucks at the top of the pile sell, Snap goes bye-bye. Snap has already changed in many ways in its short life as a publicly traded company. Q&As with Spiegel are more frequent, new products are tested in even smaller and more secretive circles. Early executives have been replaced, and the headcount has grown, which is interesting because all the other big, Uber, everything's a mass exodus. People can't get out of there quick enough. But at Snap, prices down 50% since the IPO. People are lining up to go to work there. One thing hasn't changed is that Snap remains an Evan Spiegel project. His centralized, unfettered control has made Snapchat the millennial generation's preferred hub for communication and entertainment. The question now is whether the company has outgrown the arrangement. Time will tell. All these 30-somethings running around with their billion-dollar companies. I must say I find that, I'm not going to say enviable. Let's see. Hackers were able to break into dozens of voting machines, The Hill reports. The DEF CON security conference provided 30 voting machines for attendees to test, and all were hacked. Every stinking one of them, some in just minutes. The next iPhone's home screen and face unlock may have just been confirmed by HomePod firmware. The Verge reports that hidden inside Apple's code are clues to what the eagerly anticipated iPhone 8 might include. Well, What are they going to pack in that puppy? Do we know yet? They say there's not going to be much difference in the 8. In fact, there's some kind of biometric face kit. Yeah, there's nothing. There's nothing of importance there. The Tesla 3 model has an incredibly minimalist interior. That's how they made it affordable. It ditches the traditional instrument cluster in favor of a single touchscreen. That's kind of neat. Apple is removing virtual private network services from its App Store in China. VPNs can be used to evade government censorship. The old Uber CEO, founder, Travis Kalanick, may be trying to position himself for an eventual return to the company. Recode, that's a magazine website, reports in the tech industry that he has told people he is Steve Jobsing it. I don't think anyone has ever thought so highly of themselves before. A reference to how the Apple co-founder was forced out of his company before returning, and then just accidentally happened to invent the iPhone. Were it not for the iPhone, if you ask the average person on the street who's Steve Jobs, they would say Jobs, Job, that guy in the Bible? No, the iPhone. SoundCloud once accidentally banned Justin Bieber. BuzzFeed has published a long read looking inside the struggling music startup. You know, I heard a couple tech heads on a podcast the other day just fawning over Apple Music. Now, I got Apple Music, or I had it, I got rid of it, and I have Spotify. Spotify is such a superior product. They were going on and on about, oh, Spotify, we hate the logo. With Apple Music, you got to click like 4 times before you can hear the song. With Spotify, speak it and play. There's just no comparing the two, in my opinion. But apparently somebody was paying them. A U.S. court has ruled that politicians blocking users violates free speech. New York Magazine reports that a federal court in Virginia recently ruled against a local politician on the subject. Hackers have shown proof of concepts of how to beat hardware-based two-factor authentication. 2FA is an extremely useful way to protect your accounts, but it's not perfect. If you don't know what two-factor authentication is, you go to log into your Gmail account, just as an example. It could be your bank account. Let's say it's your bank account. You put in your user ID, you put in your password, and then you get a text message on your cell phone. You also have to put that number in. Two-factor authentication. Now the other day, I'm trying to remember who it was. Even though they have two-factor authentication, they got around it. When the hacker, I got hacked. Big news. I got to get on this identity thing that I've been telling you about since the first of the year. I have it, Identity Shield and Legal Shield. I'm a card-carrying member, and I need to tell you more and more about it because I came home, I had an email from my bank, U.S. Bank. It said, we suspect fraudulent activity on your card, ending in 3095, and you should give us a call. I'm like, okay, but how do I know this email is real? So I did what any smart tech savvy guy would do, and I hovered over the link. if you hover over a link in an email, in the bottom left-hand corner, it will show you where that link's actually going to take you. Just because the link says U.S. Bank doesn't mean it's going to take you to U.S. Bank. In fact, let me see if I can find this thing. This could be a teachable moment here. Yep. Got it. You guys all know my email address anyway, so it's no big deal. And the last 4 digits of this card, no longer worky. I got a new one. They did rush me out a new card. Okay. We detected suspicious activity on your business card ending in 3095. Please contact our fraud prevention department at 800-379-8461. I immediately dialed the number, and then I hung up. Because I'm like, how do I know that's their number? So I did a little stuff. Like I hovered here. I hovered over usbank.com. Now look in the lower left-hand corner. link.alerts.usbank.com/gobbledygook. That is the exact kind of stuff that they warned you about. They say when you see stuff like that, don't be clicking it. You see how I hover over them all? And look up here. Look at this address. 1-800-US-BANKS at alerts.usbank.com. This is an example of the phoniest, spammiest, craziest, stinkingest email I ever saw in my life. And I told them, well, so then here's what I did. I Googled U.S. Bank fraud. I got a number. Okay. They answer the phone. It's an automated deal. Oh, we're sorry you suspect fraud on your card. The first thing we need you to do is to type in your card number. Okay. And type in the 5-digit zip code on the billing. Okay. Now type in your social security number. I hung up the phone. You can't slam the phone anymore because they cost $600 and they break if you slam them. But I'm going to give you one of them old phones, one of them old cast iron rotary dials, so that when I'm mad I can slam it. But anyway, I said this is not going well. So I called the number on the back of the card. I figured this has got to be the right number. They put me through that automated thing. I hit $0 *#. I don't know. If you just gobbledygook a bunch of numbers, a human being will get on the line. And I told her what had happened. And I said, look, I don't know if this is for real, not for real. If somebody's trying to just get me to give them all my information. I go, and I read her off those links. She goes, yeah, I know. She goes, that's terrible. I go, who do you work for? I was trying to trigger. She goes, U.S. Bank. I go, okay. And so she said, yes, there was fraud on your card. It was turned down by our algorithm. I go, really? What happened? She said somebody was trying to buy something online at a home, like a Michael's, in Colorado City, Utah. And she goes, was that you? I go, no. She said that's what the algorithm said, that was outside of your buying pattern. I said, well, that's one really smart algorithm, and thank you very much. And she said, we're going to rush out a brand new card, UPS. It'll be there in 2 days. And it was. But you see, however You see how close I can. Now, what do you say, Del? Never heard that. Thanks. Tell me what you never heard. Pete, they say Python is. It's interesting that you say it fell out of favor, because it's like they say if you learn Python, it makes learning all of the other languages being used today so much simpler to learn, because so much of what's in Python is in all of the other languages. By the way, girls, my daughter is here. It is her birthday. How old are you?
10.
She's 10. All right. Happy birthday. Okay. So Del, tell me what it was you never heard about the email, about hovering over the links, or because there may be somebody else in the audience that never heard of that before, and maybe I should run over it again just really, really quick. Delbert. Oh, hovering over the link. Yeah, guys, anytime you get an email, okay? See, this could say Rocky Mountain Bank of America. But when you hover over it, down here in this lower left-hand corner, that's where you're really going to go if you click it. Now, in the past, they kept those links really clean. Like it would say usbank.com/link.alerts, because usbank.com already owns that domain, so nobody else can get that domain. But this phony baloney business, call GoDaddy right now and tell them you want to buy stink.alerts.usbank.com. You don't even have to speak to a human being. It's an automated process. You type that in and they'll go, oh yeah, that domain is available. So always, 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 even if it's from your Aunt Ida, oh, look at the picture of your little cousin. You hover over that thing, and if it doesn't make sense, don't click it. Now, how much time did I spend on the phone between like 3 different departments of U.S. Bank to find out I had been defrauded and that they had stopped it and that they were a couple hours? End of the story. Far from it. Because somebody out there had my credit card number. They had enough of my information to place an online order. Yes, that card has been canceled. Yes, I've been issued a new card. But the question is, where did they get that information? Now, if it was one of these big companies that got hacked, okay, that's one thing. But what if they somehow got it from my computer or my trash can? You follow what I'm saying here? I mean, I could literally be having the same conversation with them again in 2 weeks if their algorithm catches the perpetrator. Robin, hey, how you doing? A very happy birthday to your daughter. 10 is a great age. I'm popping in and out, heading out. Have a great day. I wish I'd have known you were here earlier. I'd have had you come on and say hi. Why don't you come on tomorrow and you can pop in and say hi to everybody, okay? If you want to. Okay. All right. John should be here in a moment. He might already be here, as a matter of fact. Let me take a look. Still checking. Yeah, there he is. Hey, John, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Welcome to you.
How are you,
Thanks
sir?
for inviting me. Unfortunately, I'm down in the dumps because my system failed on Thursday night, and I'm kind of blindfolded when it comes to the markets.
Now, is this the one? Now, you said it had been running since 2009. Are you talking about running without a reboot?
Oh no, I've had a few, a few power outages and things that have happened, but it's been running virtually uninterrupted since then. And
is that the one you were running Vista on?
Yeah, correct. That's right.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, you know what? You should be glad that thing died, because Vista's.
Yeah, well, I've got more than a handful of problems because I thought it was a power supply, and we replaced that, and it still hasn't started up, which is giving me a lot of angst. But because after, I know it's hard for the folks to hear what I'm saying and understand what we've been doing here.
Actually, you sound crystal clear today.
Thanks for the last few months, or since I came back on. But we've made some spectacular calls almost daily, and we've made some extremely accurate long-term calls as well as calling the lows and highs of many markets. And the reason I'm able to do that is because I've got an awesome system, and I'm finding out today, just trying to use a backup, basically off the net, it's awfully hard to make any kind of a decision, to be honest with you, off these markets, because the way I have it set up, it's really amazing how well it calls the highs and lows.
What trading platform do you run everything off of? TradeStation?
No, I use a sort of proprietary system.
CQG?
No, it's much better than that. This is really the Rolls Royce of everything, and I'd rather not say what I use right now because it's kind of. I can tell you the combination.
About $600 a month.
Yeah, I know. Listen, mine's a lot more than that. But the thing is that the combination of what I have, I don't believe exists anywhere on Earth. I don't think anybody's got the same combo of what I have, and that really gives me it gives me an unbelievable edge, because I'm looking at myself in real time here this morning. I'm kind of struggling with some of the things that I'm seeing, just because I don't have these. When I have everything in front of me, and I've got 100 markets in front of me, and I can pick them off one after the other, it's told me, it's kind of reminded me how fortunate we are to be where we are today, in terms of having a system that I haven't really changed. I did tell you a few months ago that I kind of came up with a new idea to make it easier to catch, to catch the turning points. And I think you'll agree, since then, that's when we started really picking off these markets one after the other every day. And that's what we've been able to do. And I can tell you that it's going to get better, because as soon as I get this system back up and running and doing a few other things to tweak it, it really is going to be sensational. And I think it's going to help make a lot of people a lot of money.
You remember back many years ago when we used something, what was it called, ADVFN or something?
Oh yeah.
Do you still use that?
I kind of that's one of the things that I keep an eye on.
Well, it's a nice piece of the pie because of the way it displays who the winners and losers of the day are and the biggest performer. I for that reason I liked it, but I let it go a long time ago. Because I was at TradeStation, and they were charging me over $300 a month just for data fees. And so I became a certified TradeStation developer just so I could get my data for free, or almost free.
Good for you. Good for you.
But now
I know those two guys
business.
who founded TradeStation. Actually, I've met them a few times.
Yeah, they're quite a success story, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are. No, I knew them back in the old days when they weren't very well known. But they certainly have done come a long way. And but what I wanted to say today, just looking at the big picture, let's look at a few big picture things since it's coming into the end.
Facebook got downgraded. Did you see that?
I did. Yeah, I saw that this morning, and there's a bit of a sell signal on it. And look, as what I was really wanting to say was, I think it's fair to say that I've been a relentless bull up until the end of last week, until this problem, until the first sell-off that we had in the NASDAQ. we caught the Google sell-off at the beginning of the week, and then the second sell-off as well. And I'm a little bit, look, the reality of the situation today is you have a potential classic top developing in the markets. And I did say, anywhere from 21st of July through 21st of August, the top could come in. And here's a reason to be careful, cautious. The Russell 2000 has taken a pretty big hit.
But it did just put in a new all-time high, right?
It did, but then it went down.
Well, that's what always happens when before a market makes a major tank.
Then the euro stocks, that's acting really badly. The DAX is acting very badly. The VIXs haven't really started to respond yet, but look, there's almost, I don't want to say this too strongly, but there's almost no risk in the VIXs right now, really, if you buy them around here, because they're pretty much at all-time record lows, and they don't, there's I just can't see them going much lower, and when you start to see the VIXs actually go up, as we did last week, where the market was actually going, the VIXs and the market are going up together, that's a sign that there's trouble ahead. And the second thing is, look, I think I've been the only guy out there who's really been pushing the 22,000 on the Dow. I've said we're going to get there. Here we are today, 21,900 something, and we've only got 100 points to go. The S&P is clawing its way back. So is the Nasdaq. I wouldn't rule out a recovery from here. We could still get a spectacular rebound, into the right into the top of August. This could still happen. 70-something% of all the companies reporting have exceeded, outperformed. While if you like,
Amazon missed. Surprisingly.
Right, and it's down today. And look, we sold Amazon. On when was it? Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. On Thursday, Amazon got up to 1083. We sold it at 1082 and went short, and we're still short right now. So I can't ask for much more than that.
Can you see my screen right now?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the euro on a daily chart, the 6E.
Who's been bullish on the euro? Who's been saying 120?
Well, yeah, okay, but take a look at this. We at the top of the channel, bottom of the channel, top of the channel, bottom of the channel, and now we're sitting right up at the top of the channel. So do you think we're going to break higher, or do we head back to the middle of the channel?
You know what? We might break higher, but you know why? Because we're closing the month on the high of the day. The high of the month and high of the week, etc.
And the channels like this, John, I won't buy the breakout, but here's what I like to see happen. I like to see them pop. I like to see them come back to the top.
Yep.
And then
blast through the 120. Yeah, no, that's perfect.
Then I'm a player there.
Well, we go mini parabolic, because breaking that uptrend line is a little bit of a parabolic move. And look, I'm telling you, the whole world is short the currencies. Nobody saw this rally coming. Nobody saw this dollar plunging like we've been saying all along. It's going to go down 50%. The dollar is doomed. There's no way out of this. The dollar is going down no matter what.
Were you tuned in at the very start of the show?
No, I wasn't. No.
Let me just share one thing that China, they had a big military might parade today.
I saw about it, yeah.
Yeah, let me see if I can find the one. The historian Alfred McCoy estimates that by 2030, China, a nation of 1.3 billion, will surpass the U.S. in both economic and military strength, essentially ending the American empire and Pax Americana the world has known since the close of World War II. And I told the audience, if that doesn't send shivers down your spine and put goosebumps on your goosebumps, then you better start goose stepping.
Well, this is this whole thing. Look, I think just like the First World War, the Second World War was a kind of a replay of the First World War. I actually think the Second World War, or the Third World War rather, will be somewhat of a replay of the Second World War, but it might be in the East rather than the West, i.e., this whole North Korea thing. I don't know why. I wish I could call Trump and tell him, look, forget about China. China is not the solution to North Korea. Is not China. It's the Japanese. Why is the Japanese? Because the Chinese are scared of the Japanese. Why are they scared of the Japanese? Because they invaded China in 1937, and they killed 10 million Chinese, and the Chinese had never gotten over it. And they're deathly scared of another war with Japan. I mean, plain and simple. And the easiest way to provoke China right now is to put nukes, tactical nuclear weapons along the DMZ, because you got to fight fire with overwhelming fire. And the problem with the DMZ, look, this is 30 times bigger than Truman's predicament back in World War II, because there's 30 million people at stake. And this is a war that's going to be fought in seconds, not in minutes, because whoever gets the first shot off really has the advantage in the Korean War. If this guy suddenly unleashes an artillery barrage and starts a war, it's going to cause a lot of deaths that are unavoidable. However, if you're facing tactical nuclear weapons, you'd think twice about that, because the only way to stop North Korea is you got to kill the army. You got to kill the army. The army has to be annihilated, and it has to be done in minutes rather than an hour.
Well, it's not just North Korea. This parade that they had in China on, I guess, yesterday or Saturday, China showed off new mobile intercontinental ballistic missiles that it says can reach the U.S. in 30 minutes.
Yeah, well, the U.S. is the same, that can do the same as China, but what you really need in the Korean, is what if Trump said we're going to arm Japan with nukes, and that's a really big step, and it would freak everybody out, but it would certainly create an MAD situation, mutual assured destruction situation, between the two powers in the East, just like the Russia and the West, and that might prevent World War III for another 30, 40 years or so. But the point is, they got to do it right now, because China's already flexing its muscles, and it's obviously using North Korea as a kind of almost a conduit to do that, and then it's taken over all these islands and creating bases out of them. So it's a really, really big deal. But the real story is Japan and South Korea. Look, that's the only way to solve this problem, because if they have if you have tactical nuclear weapons facing you right over the border, you're going to think twice about starting, letting off them, because it's an instant annihilation if that happens. And the thing is, you can't pinprick, you can't sort of, send in a few bombers and take a few tanks out and a few artillery pieces. You got to take out the whole lot in one hit. Otherwise, it's Armageddon. And so this is a situation that could really blow up at any time. And the gold and silver are acting extremely well. Assuming that we close anywhere around this current level or higher today, we're closing at the high of the month on silver after a very severe test earlier on. We're closing at nearly the high of the month of gold. We're closing the high of the month on platinum.
Now, tell me this: the boost that we got in gold, we just rolled to the December contract. What were we trading in the previous contract when we rolled to December? Because I know we got a little goose to the upside.
There's about a 10-point premium in it, or maybe 8, something like that.
Okay, so not a lot, but enough. Yeah. I mean, we're $25 away. If we can just get on the other side of 1,300, I think that could be very strong.
Yeah. Look, the way it looks to me, I'm looking at the monthly silver and gold now. You've got a situation where the measured move in gold, in all honesty, to me, looks like about 1,500 from here. And that could be the worst case scenario, you know, a rally to 1,500. When I say it's the worst case scenario, this was some kind of an ABC wave, and then we started down after that. Still, getting to 1,500 is a big deal. The silver, honestly, looks like it's going to go vertical to $25 here. This next up move in silver could be a ripper, could be a really, really strong move. The platinum also looks positioned for a bounce, maybe up to possibly even to 14 or 1,500, where it could start leading the way. Palladium is looking fantastic here. It's you know, I think palladium is going to 1,000. Actually, I think I said 1,100 not so long ago. And the copper also. Copper looks like it's going to go back to the highs. It's going to go back to $4.5. So and look, we talked about the GDP. Nobody was looking for 2% a month or two ago. We got you remember 2.6%. It virtually, I wouldn't say it guarantees 3% this quarter, but it's high probability we'll hit 3% growth this quarter, and 4% in the fourth quarter. There's a lot of momentum to this economy that's actually gaining momentum. I mean, when you double the GDP from one quarter to the next, it's a very big deal. And there was some woman on CNN yesterday. I mean, that just makes me want to throw up. Some Democrat, you know, saying, you know, why can't Trump grow the economy? I mean, hello, he's just done what people thought was going to be impossible a few months ago, and if Hillary had won, I'd say we'd be minus 2.6% probably by now. We'd probably already be in a recession, and it would be a diabolically bad situation. The only good thing about it was gold might be at $2,000 already if she'd won. But what this woman from the Democrats doesn't understand is, you know, you can't tax and spend your way into prosperity. It's got to be the other way around. You got to let the private sector create the real wealth. You know,
right.
This business of babysitting people and food stamps and welfare is not the way America is going to be great again.
50 million Americans. I mean, that's just how many were on food stamps when Obama took office?
Oh, I don't know. It was about 20 or 19 or 18. As
he left office, it was 50 million.
Yeah, and it still didn't win Hillary the election. Can you believe it? So, you know, but that's what we got to grow this economy.
Those people couldn't vote. They had to go to Walmart.
Yeah. I mean, you know what what I've been saying on this show all along. There's only one way. The only way out of that quagmire we're in right now is we got to grow the economy. We got to grow our way out of this debt problem. And to say that it can't be done is wrong, because it's happened twice before. The U.S. has been at 100% debt to GDP, and guess what? They got out of it almost back to a point where there was no deficit. Now it'll take some time for that to happen, but it can happen. When you start growing the economy at 4%, it changes everything. And speaking of China, there was some news report that came out. I mean, the middle class right now in China, and India for that matter, is actually bigger than the U.S. population. And they're projecting a middle class of nearly 900 million people in China virtually within 10 years, within a little over 10 years. That is absolutely staggering. Remember what they said?
They've tasted the good life, and they're not want to go back to the bicycles.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely not. It's Rolls Royces, Ferraris, and all the other good things in life that they crave for right now. They're selling more Rolls Royces in Shanghai than just about any place else in the world. The prosperity in Shanghai is
while the factory managers over there hang themselves in the middle of the night.
Yeah,
that's horrible.
But look, China. I think it's going to be hard for China to maintain 6-7% growth, but they're still going to have. Here's the one thing. Somebody else was saying Europe is finished. I think this guy Fareed Zakaria was saying yesterday, listen, anybody who writes off Europe is bonkers. I mean, Europe's been the engine of the world for centuries, not decades, and their inventiveness and their, the German powerhouse, and now look at Poland. The Europe is it's taken even though everybody's been saying it's the end of the European Union and all that, it's actually the opposite. This union, while it's got its teething problems, it's like another United States.
You see my chart here, John?
Yeah.
This big green candle. This is a 30-minute candle. Mm-hmm. Here's the London Open, 3 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
We opened at 24.69, and in that 30-minute period ran up to 24.74. Now, while I realize that's not huge, look over here. This was the Sunday night Globex Open. We used to have great trades on Sunday night. I got a little bit famous for my Sunday night trades, and now, what do? We waddle sideways, and then along come. Now, is the diametric opposite? Europe rallies off the open, and Wall Street crashes at 9:30, all the way down to a low of 24.63, 24.65 and a quarter. I don't know. It's just the engine of commerce that drives the world. You're right. It's no longer Wall Street.
Right. Well, look, just going back to the market, bigger picture in the market, the other thing that really is kind of definitely a warning sign. Now, look, this could be just a prelude to a bigger version of this that might happen. If we recover from the sell-offs that's going on today and we start making new highs, we could probably have a bigger version of what took place last week, i.e., where we had a 300-point down day in the transports. That's a very big deal, because actually a 300-point down day in the transports is like a 700-point down day in the Dow almost right now. Mm-hmm. So it was a very, very big deal.
And that's the most reliable leading indicator in for 100 years, historically speaking?
Absolutely. No, but the thing is, the transports did make an all-time high along with the Dow. So you have a Dow theory buy signal. Now, just because we have a shakeout doesn't necessarily negate that, although it's a kind of a warning sign. But all I'm saying is, if we do have a recovery in the transports here and the Dow and everything else, look, the Dow getting to 22,000 is going to be a problem, because I didn't pick that number out of thin air. I arrived at that number for a specific reason, because that's where I thought the market would go before it would run into trouble. And listen, it might go 100 or a few hundred points above it, possibly. But 22,000 at this point of the cycle, given how far we've come, is a big problem, because I think smart people on Wall Street, the smart money, is going to say, they're going to see what I'm seeing, and they're going to say, you know what, it's time to sell. And, August, September time is usually a problem time for the market. And it's not guaranteed, because we did have a little bit of a top in August last year. So, going the same way 2 years in a row, sometimes it goes the opposite. So there are these different things. And look, if Trump does get this healthcare thing passed in the next few weeks, I wouldn't rule it out. That could lift the market a lot, because it would sort of say to the market, the tax cuts are next. And the power of the tax cuts, regardless of anything, are overrule all market technicals and everything else. The power of the tax cuts are a monumental driving force behind this market, and could defy everybody's beliefs as where this market could go. So keep these things in mind. And so would an infrastructure bill, for that matter. So, because as I've said before, if we get to 3% growth and you start introducing tax cuts in the infrastructure bill, it's like pouring gasoline on the fire. It's only going to fuel things better, because it's a lot easier. It's not like, when you're down 9%, like we were in 2009, trying to restart the economy from a death spiraling hole is 10 times harder than trying to boost the economy today. So, you know, that's why the power of what these big deals, the big agenda, is something that most people can't fathom, frankly. So, you know, given the way this market's been acting, we've really been going sideways for the last few months, and to have another upside breakout is something you can't rule out. And then you've got these juggernauts, like, even look, a sell signal on Facebook is probably a buy signal because it's just a kind of a pullback. I mean, why would you sell a stock that's, you know, increasing its its revenue 50% a quarter?
Well, see, it's a whole different ball game now. When Facebook first went public, John, I wrote an article by request for the Motley Fool. And my prediction on Facebook,
that's a big deal.
Yeah, my prediction on Facebook is that it would go to $12 before it found its footing. It made it to 18.
Yeah, that's where I bought
it. You know, and every day on the radio show, I said, guys, you've read the article. I hope it doesn't go to 12. I don't want to see people lose their money, but I've run the numbers, and today, that's what it's worth. But back then, they had no advertising revenue. See, that was the problem. Now it's a whole different ballgame. So I'm so surprised to see this guy come out with this. Now, I'm experimenting with some Facebook advertising at the moment, and I'm using some expert help. And I'm going to get to the bottom of whether this hoop and hoopla is true about the power of the Facebook advertising.
What is it work? Is it working?
So far, the jury's out, but it's not looking good. And when I'm done with the study, I'm going back to Motley Fool, and you may see a whole lot more sell signals come out.
Well, look, I don't disagree with anything you're saying.
I mean, Facebook's making plenty of money. But Facebook, they don't know doubt. But the people who are advertising, the people who are doing the advertising, aren't making the money.
Yeah, but but look, one of the areas they're monetizing is the messenger system and the WhatsApp. The WhatsApp is very valuable because people are getting it for next to nothing, and if they charge them a little bit, they could make tremendous revenues off that WhatsApp.
He could have completely taken away PayPal's business. I don't know if he's friends with somebody, but when Facebook went public, he had, what did he have, 1 billion people?
No, it was much less than that. It was only a few hundred, 500 million. So
okay,
less
500
than
million. Okay, but that's fine. He could have done a PayPal-type business model where he doesn't have to do this stupid, archaic, prehistoric thing where they deposit a couple pennies in your bank account 3 days in a row, and then you got to verify it. And I mean, I don't know if you've ever done business with PayPal. When they work, they're awesome. I love them. But if they ever decide to freeze your account, freeze your money, you could have $100,000 sitting in your account at PayPal, and if you pay your bills out of your PayPal account, those suckers will bounce like rubber, and they tell you, sorry, can't do anything about it. The last time they tied me in knots was because we had had such an incredible month. We came under scrutiny by the Homeland Security people. They tied us in a knot for a month. I had to pay all of our bills, which are not few, out of my own pocket until they finally one day called me up and go, great news, your account's free to do with whatever you want now. And I went out and got an account with Shopify. I went out and got a merchant account with US Bank. I already had another merchant account with somebody else because I said, never will I allow them to put me over a barrel like this again. And I let no money sit, you know, because they email me the second money comes in, and within 5 minutes, it's gone back out. And they're bragging about their new ability to move funds from PayPal to your bank in one day. They're already doing it in my account. So, I mean, Mark Zuckerberg had everybody's name, their home address, their work address, their phone number, where they went to high school, who their Aunt Ida is, where she lives. I mean, he didn't have to go through all this stupid verification process. He could have simply stole PayPal's business, and he didn't. And I don't understand why. I'm not a proponent of stealing somebody's business, but I'm just saying he's in business to make money. That's why he gets up every day, to make all the money he can make, right? And that was a gimme. You didn't even have to think about that, and he didn't do it. Again, maybe somebody helped him along the way, who's on the board at PayPal. Who's the guy now that's CEO over there? He was CEO before, and then he went away, then he came back. God, I can't think of the guy's name. He's such a Silicon Valley... anybody in the audience know his name? Or want to look it up for me? I just lost my chat box, so I need you to type it in the chat box so I can get my box back.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wait, there it is. There's my box. Oh, now I lost it. Okay, now you really do have to type something in there. Somebody, so I can see the box again. So, anyway, I can't think of the guy's name. Crap, I'll just... CEO...
Facebook has a habit, Dwayne. It almost always sells off after the announcement of its earnings. It's just routine, and so this sell signal is just. If it wasn't for this sell signal, it probably wouldn't be selling off too much. I think it's just this sell signal has provoked a bit of selling, just like that Citron did the other day on Nvidia. But you know, Facebook will find a level, and then it'll probably start to go back up again.
I'm sorry, I said CEO, and I think I meant founder. What is this guy's name? Man, he's not showing up anywhere. I must have got my guys. I'm seeing Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, and they're not the guys.
Not the guy in Singapore, is it?
No, I'm gonna try one more thing and see if I can. I got to remember this guy's name now for some crazy reason. Jack Dorsey. That's who I was thinking of.
But he's Twitter. He's Twitter.
Yeah, he's Twitter. I got confused. I'm old, John. I got confused.
Okay. Anyway, I just want to make a comment about the softs here, because our coffee, which has been clawing its way higher, looks like it's closing up around a new high today, around 139, new recovery high. It's had a monumental recovery off the lows that we called back down a couple of months ago. Cocoa is also on a tear to the upside, got to upwards of 2080. Still looks pretty strong, and we mentioned last week that we thought that cotton would go higher. It also has gone higher. Orange juice, we actually had a sell signal up around the 138 area. It's back down to 131, but it actually looks like a buy again here. And the sugar looks like it's going to break out to the upside here above 15 any moment.
Okay, now what? I usually don't tie these kinds of things together, but I know that you do. Okay, higher sugar prices. Say, what about the world economy?
Well, you know, it's kind of like milk. Milk is a very good indicator of the discretionary, of the state of the economy, because when milk prices are high, people tend to spend more money on milk. You know, when they got more money in their pocket. You know, it's
when milk prices are higher or lower.
No, they drive my milk prices up when things are better, because if people will tend to stop buying milk if they're feeling the pinch, you know.
Well, both milk and sugar have gotten a very bad name over the last few years.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you use sugar or do you use stevia?
Well, I think sugar. No, listen, I don't use any of that stuff.
Okay.
Because to me, I've got a real problem with anything sweet these days. I just can't tolerate it at all.
Okay.
And I find that these stevias and what's the other one?
I don't know, but we found a brand of stevia from Amazon that we really like. I mean, it took me a while to adjust to the taste, but I use it in everything.
Yeah, maybe that's the one, but there's Splenda. Splenda is the other one.
Yeah, that stuff's not so good for you.
Yeah, no, exactly. Splenda, that doesn't agree with me at all. So,
when I was a kid, my grandfather had diabetes, and that's when they first came out with those pink packets, the Sweet and Low. And it said right on the back of the packet, this stuff, we found that in laboratory animals, this stuff will probably kill you. And it killed my grandfather. So.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Yeah, no, listen. Sorry about that, but
yeah, it's a long time ago.
That's the trouble with a lot of things these days. You know, you got to be so careful.
Saccharin. That's what they called it, saccharin in the beginning.
Yeah. And you know, Splenda got a lot of hype, and it's actually seems to have been displaced by stevia more now.
Oh, absolutely. Stevia people actually believe to be healthy. They haven't come out with any reports yet, but I don't doubt that they will. They'll, no white sugar, no white flour. I mean, well, you know all the stuff.
Sure. Do you see the way the futures are turning down a little bit here?
Yeah, that's what I said, is that as price pushed through this zone, it would pull back into it, and then one of two things would happen. We would get another leg down, taking us down possibly to the 61-62 area. These are last week's zones. Or it would find good support and give us a leg up. Well, we can see what's happening so far.
Yeah.
I mean, since the show started, we've been just kind of spellbound inside of this range. Now, let me see what this week's zones are. I realize today's only Tuesday, and I shouldn't say it on the radio, but I'll go ahead and do it because I can. And because the partners don't usually get too mad at me if I spill the beans. The zone is actually, this week, it's 68.69. Now, I'm saying that only because that gives us like a 2-point range here, from 68 up to 70. You could see this market trade sideways through here for quite some time. Just saying. And down below us, we've got 62, 63. See, when there is not much volatility in the markets, the zones don't change that much from week to week. I mean, it used to be that the zones were 10, 15, 20 points apart. If you Google CFRN weekly trading zones, there's a couple pages of articles, and then if you click on the images tab up at the top, you can see charts going all the way back to 2009. And yeah, things have really changed.
Yeah. Okie doke. Well, listen, thanks again for the invite.
Hey, and thank you, John. Oh, there was a question.
We'll
hang on, there was a question for you. Richard said, I agree with John. Market is very close to a good short-term top, 100 to 200 points to the downside. Do you agree with that? He was agreeing with you. He was agreeing with you. Yeah.
Thank you. No, thank you very much. It could be more. You know, this is a look. You know, I've been pretty positive here for many weeks now. I'm really, you know, it just takes something out of the blue could knock this market down pretty sharply, and it might be this. You know, we could get a bit of volatility tomorrow, the first of the month. You know, we could get a bit of a hit, like a test of the month, if you like. Often happens, and then if we start recovering and clawing our way back, then all is well and good. But we have to see that happen yet before you get too bullish on the long side, or too comfortable with going back to the long, because there's a lot of factors that are really starting to look. A number of stocks have. Remember what I said last week, that it was amazing that in spite of Google getting knocked down as strongly as they did, that the Nasdaq still managed to make a new high without the Googles supporting it, if you like. Now you're starting to see the Google effect, the Amazon effect, the Facebook effect, and the NVIDIA effect, and some of these high flyers all starting to underperform. And look, I made I mentioned that ICPT intercept could run up. It got up to 135. If our system had been on, we obviously would have had sell signals in there to protect us. And the same with Clovis. I said Clovis was going to run up last week. It got up to 98. For some reason, it's got clocked this morning at possibly an after effect of the drugs deal not being passed, the healthcare thing. So all the farmers are getting knocked down today. But in a way, that's really quite a good thing, because if the healthcare thing comes back on track here in the next day or two, or week or two, the farmers could have another run to the upside that could be pretty good, and I think that would be important to, in fact, if there's a possibility of this bill getting passed before August 21st, or maybe within the next 2 weeks, you could get that last gasp rally that maybe could peak out somewhere around mid to late August. And in spite of everything I've been saying, there are some there's some important cyclical tops coming in around middle of August. So the market's got some pressure, wind in its face here coming up.
I also think that this the bad boy of pharma, Martin Shkreli, I think he's being sentenced today in Lower Manhattan. So what effect that'll have on the pharmaceutical industry, I don't know. He's the guy, I won't go into the whole story, but he bought that drug, he bought some drug that sold for $12.50 a pill. And it was very important for people with either AIDS or cancer. And he bought the rights to the drug. It's a drug been around forever. And he immediately jacked it up from $12.50 a pill to $750 a pill. And his reasoning was that people who use this medication, they're not paying for it. The insurance companies are paying for it. So I'm not sticking it to the little guy. I'm sticking it to the insurance companies. This kid's 30. He's ran 2 hedge funds into the ground. He's been the CEO of 2 publicly traded companies. And he's mentally disturbed. Well, I mean, when you own a pharmaceutical company, I mean, it's not too easy to get disturbed. So, anyway, all right, buddy, I'll let you go.
Thanks a lot. All the best. Bye-bye.
Great. Bye-bye. Okay, for those of you that got the Concierge Trade Alerts last night and you're like, what the heck? Why does it look so different? Well, I'm going to tell you. I've always said that you might not like what I tell you, but I'll always tell you the truth. Okay, here's why the trade alerts look so differently today in the email format. You ready? I don't know. I've been using the same template since December 14th of 2009. And last night when I went to load it, it didn't just break, it wasn't there. So I may fix it and I may not. I mean, I still convey the same information. I'll show you. So I don't guess it's that big a deal. It may not look as pretty, but it's got the same stuff. Sunday evening, 7 o'clock, 7/30, 2017. On the S&P 500, we said consider buying 24.72. And on the first run up, it was good for 2 3/4 points. Back below the trigger, 2 points. Back below the trigger, 3 points. This is a perfect example of what I'm always yammering about. Important prices and important areas are almost always tested. Now, you're probably wondering, well, why the heck couldn't this thing keep going? What happened? Well, I'm just going to tell you, I'm not going to put it on the screen. This week's weekly trading zone, 74.75. See how that works? See how beneficial it is to have the weekly trading zones before the market opens for the week. I give them to the community at large on Thursday, but partners get them Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. Maybe it was a new little helper that changed the alerts. Maybe it was. I don't know. I was shocked. I wasn't shocked. I was just aggravated. Because some Sundays you feel like tearing yourself away from your family and just shut yourself up in your office and working till 2, 3 in the morning. And, you know, last night I didn't. So the first thing out of the gate I do on Sunday nights, the zones. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be here all night. And I said, no, wait a minute. I'm not. I want to send them the information. So what if the format looks different? There's no pretty green. It's still the same numbers. Sell 20. Oh, did you guys make your screenshot? Go ahead, grab it. Buy 72, sell 67. Okay? On the S&P. Screen shoot the whole thing. What was amazing was that these, even though the template went away, this hung in there. So, I don't know. Oh, God, what did I do? No, there we go. As Mondays go, this has, knock on wood and shut up. Okay. If you sold 24.67, we put in a low at 65.25. So that's only 1.75. But the day's not over, and it is possible we could come cruising back down. See how this thing's kind of giving a rounding. You got these wicks at the bottom, but you got this sort of a rounding formation. So what do you do? What do you do? Nothing. Now, true and not true. Okay, let me take you. Let me take you to a little place I like to call this chart. Okay. And I'm going to show you something. It may amuse you. It may not. It may make your eyes go buggy. It may not. You might learn something. You might say, dude, I've seen that. You showed us that 1,000,000 times. Well, there's new people in the audience every day. So, okay. These are the CFRN indicators that we use in the live training room. In the training room, we use a range chart. Okay. Every candle is 4 ticks high. I can give you 1,000,000 reasons why we do that, but I don't have time. But I will show you what the indicator set looks like on a daily chart. Price pulls back to touch the BBC by the open of the next close, and there's a week's pay. Price comes back to touch the BBC, up close, and there's another week's pay. Price comes back to touch the BBC, up close, and there's a month's pay. Okay? And it just keeps doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. Now look, right here, you've got a blue cycle and a blue MA1 If this candle closes positive, I'd be all over it. Now, the markets are fractal in nature, so I can drop this down to a 30-minute chart. Okay, now July 30th, last night, started right here. You'd had a bullish cross, which is bullish, positive, but the first candle was bearish. You see how that doesn't mesh. So then what did price do? It came down 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes. It never took out the BBC. Then what did it do? It closed above the MA1. So it was as simple as buying the open of this candle, 24. Come on, open 24.69 and a quarter. 24.69 and a quarter. And it put in a high at 24.74.75. Now, granted, that's not a whale of a lot of money, but based upon the swings that the S&P has been having of late, it's not too shabby. Well, how do you know to get out up here? You don't. You trail your stop. So what do you end up with? Maybe end up with 4 points. Remember, the goal is only 2. We put in a higher high by 1 tick. What have I always warned you about when you put in a higher high by 1 tick? You sell that puppy like you stole it. Okay? Now, look what's about to happen. The MA1 is going to come back to the BBC. Price is already there. If we get a bearish cross, we're going to be looking to sell this thing. Okay? If we get a bearish cross. But we may not. It may come right back down to the BBC and roll right back up. In fact, we may not find good resistance until here. Okay? Up around 24.80.81. Which happens to be a weekly zone. But anyway. Now, if we take out these highs, then there's nothing but clear blue sky all the way up. There's 5 points. Take it and go. Okay? Oh, so you're saying we should trade the hourly chart? No, not at all. I'm trying to teach you that the markets are fractal in nature and that you can use our indicator set to trade any market in any time frame. Any time frame. Let's go 30 minutes. Ooh, already got a bearish cross. See, on the smaller time frame, while the larger time frame is more powerful, the smaller time frame gives you the earliest warning. Now, if this candle closes bearish, you could sell it, but you gotta know that this guy right here, if it turns up and turns blue, then that is probably going to be good support, and it's probably going to turn this thing around. Okay, so now let's go to the 4-tick range that you trade every day in the live training room. What does it say? Leg, retrace, leg, retrace, leg. And we don't get another leg down. Oh, bullish cross. leg, retrace, leg, retrace, leg. Ooh, I didn't get a higher high. This thing has a high potential to trade lower. So based off looking at this higher time frame, what would I do right now? I would either A, take a break, or B, look at a different market. You can do that? Sure you can. Four-tick range on crude. What a rally. A. We'll go backwards this time. We'll go 30 minutes. Bearish cross. Price pulled away. Price pulled back. No down close. And once the step line touches the BBC, the short trade is disqualified. Okay, now let's roll out to an hour. Same thing. Let's go daily. Look at that. Bullish cross. After the bullish cross, the step line took you out, but then the step line got back above. Price pulled away. Price pulled back. Up close. By the open of the next candle, which is 46. I'm sorry. The open. 46.46 to 50.06. $4,000 per contract. $4,000 per contract. I just wanted to show you that. That's all. Because sometimes people say, well, you know, in that training room, you know, you're using such small time frames, you know. Well, until you learn how to deal with the small time frames and until you fully comprehend aggressive risk management, you're never going to make a $4,000 trade. I promise you. Let's see. Angie says on demo early today, RTY from 1431 to 1432.9, and ES from 2472 to 2470. Congratulations, Angie. That's fantastic. I'll give you 2 bells. Awesome. Okay, let's get back to business here. Because I got class. No, I don't mean I'm like fancy pants. I mean I got to go to class. The Dow by 21790. Okay. And 790. Now there was a pretty good pullback here, so maybe all you caught was this 790. Yeah, I better write this down because I'm old. By 21790. $847, that'd be 57 points. Did it go higher? Yes. However, when I'm showing this to you, I like to show you what's realistic. Okay? Yeah, somebody might have held that. I mean, because the Dow only pays $5 a point, That's not much of a pullback. So is it feasible that somebody has held it all the way up to 21,869, 21,870? Yeah, that's 80 points. This pullback here would not necessarily have stopped you out, because remember, we're willing to risk $300 on every Concierge Trade Alert. Well, on every Concierge Trade Alert that warrants it. Okay. Last night on soybeans, we said to consider selling 10.10. Problem is, when the market opened, it gapped over our entry. So nothing we could do there. And on the buy side, 10.16, well, we haven't got there yet. Bonds. What do we got in bonds? Last night on bonds, we said to sell 152.21. Oh, look at that. It's so unbelievable how sometimes it hits it right on the nose. So out of all these numbers, 152.21. Make sure you buy on a stop limit and sell on a stop limit. Okay? And so obviously the long side never triggered. Okay, what else we got? Crude? I think we did crude, didn't we? Okay, on crude, we were looking to buy 50.20, and that did not happen. We were looking to sell 49.80, which very much happened. Now, what time did the alerts go out? 1900 hours. All right, let's just draw it across here. Crude, so 49.80. Oh, we're getting right back up to it again. So we might get another go. Okay, crude oil, sell 49.80. Now with a potential another trade on deck right there on the right hand side of the page. Okay, the first drop took us down to a low 49.70, $100. That's what the market made available. We never get out at the swing high or swing low because we trail our stop. It's per contract available. Now, here's the deal. If you followed the rules and put your stop above the most recent swing high, and you still were able to do that and maintain a $300 risk management, well then you had no worries. Okay? If you considered this your last swing high, out by a tick. Okay? Now, the least amount of risk almost always produces the greatest profit potential. So, who can spot it? Stands out like a happy thumb. Not a sore thumb. Happy thumb. That took us right down to 49.18. So around 49.18 up to 49.20, $600 per contract available. Again, we don't get out at the swing high or swing low. We trail our stop. Okay. Now that's per contract. How many contracts can you trade? As many as you can afford. Better said, as many as you have earned the right to trade. Okay? You see what's happening here? Once you get back above the trigger, it sets you up for another trade. Okay? Alright, what's next? Give me next, give me next. Alright, we have to officially make the change. Okay. Okay, we are now in December gold. So I'm just going to delete everything else. I'm going to delete everything else. There we go. Alright, market opened last night. Alerts got out at 1900. Okay. We were looking to sell $12.73. Boy. Whenever we shift contracts, I get thrown off balance a little bit. If you get thrown off balance a little bit when a contract rolls, lay off it for a few days. Especially if you're a Concierge Trade Alert trader, because you get 8 trades every night in your email. 2 trades per market. 8 markets, 2 trades per market. That's 16. And as you've seen, important prices, important areas are almost always tested. So what is this? 130 bucks per contract. Wow. However, if this is gold building a base so that we can take off like a rocket, I'm all for that. Okay. The buy side on gold was 1278. And as we can see, that didn't happen. Okay. I think the NQ and the Russell, and we're done. Russell. Okay. On the Russell, we're looking to sell 1428. I love it when that happens. Sell 1428. Okay, swing low. 1419.10. Well, 9 and 9 is 18. 450. We'll call it 440. $440 per contract available. Okay. Again, we don't get out at the swing high or swing low because we trail our stop. At least that's what we teach you. You can do whatever you want. Okay. NQ. $1,900. Okay. NQ. Buy 59.12. Got it, coach. Mm-hmm. $59.12 up to $59.33. Okay. 33 minus 12, 21 times 20 in 30 minutes. Now, if you knew absolutely nothing about technical analysis, if you are brand new to trading, I would much rather teach you how to trade. That's what our mentoring program is about. But if you want to subscribe to the Concierge Trade Alerts, be my guest. On the sell side for the NQ, $58.99. Okay. So that's two-sided action, made money in both directions. That's one of Mike Reed's phrases, two-sided action. Give credit where credit's due. He'll be with us one day this week. Okay. Sell $58.99. Okay guys, I'm going to bug out of here in just a second because I got to go to this class. If there's any questions, get them in the chat box now real quick. $58.99, the low was 70.25. Well, if it was 70, 80, 90, it would be 19, so 18.75. So a couple $400 moves. Now, remember, important prices, important areas are almost always tested. But price has to come below the trigger. The trigger's $59.12, and this pullback came to $59.12.25. Two more ticks, and you'd have had another trade that would have delivered another 21 points. Hey, you take what the market gives you and smile. Whoops, I went too far there. Why? Oh, here it is. And as the radio show comes to an end, look, we started, been at this now for 2.5 hours. There's an hour, 2 hours. We've been stuck in this zone from last week since the opening of the show. Not that unusual, honestly. Good luck in class. Eat your vegetables so you can retain what you learn. Ha. God bless, buddy. See you at the bell. Hey, man. Thanks. You're a real source of encouragement. Actually, all of you are. You know, even those of you that have some difficulties, and you know, I love you just the same. You know, I really do. I love you guys. Hey, if you haven't taken the trial, if you've been struggling, like, I'm going to read this again because I think it's that important. And again, I'm protecting his identity, all right? Because that's the only right thing to do, right? Of course it is. Okay. And I'm not picking on this guy, I'm picking on this mindset. Or I'm not even picking on it, I'm pointing it out. I wanted to know if you have just a trading room subscription. Okay, what good does that do you? I mean, a trading room subscription, is that like so you can trade the guru's trades where you'll always be a couple ticks behind and you'll never actually learn how to trade because you're too busy trying to match him tick for tick? I don't use Ninja. I don't either. I use BT Pro. He says, I hate it, and I say, I love it. So the indicators won't be any good to me. Well, where did that come from? He doesn't use Ninja. He hates it. So our indicators won't be any good to him. I don't think we've ever published that anywhere. And learning your method, this is what really got me by the gazoolies. And learning your method would just end up in the pile of other methods and courses I've purchased over the years. So why do you want to know if we have a monthly subscription? How is that going to help you? How is that going to benefit you? It's not. I'd rather see you go get a job in a different field. Learn to write that one Swift or Python or do something. Because if that's how you feel. Now, all those other methods and stuff and courses that you purchased over the years that are lying on the floor, okay, I'm going to tell you, here's why they didn't work, okay? I'm not saying they're bad methods or bad systems or any of that. No, no, no. Here's what I'm going to tell you, is that whoever sold you the course did not help you develop patience. They did not help you learn self-discipline. They did not teach you how to think in probabilities. And last but not least, you had no personal mentor. Because if you had had a personal mentor, they would have helped you learn to be patient. They would have taught you what self-discipline really means. And they would have most certainly helped you understand that this business has nothing to do with who's the fastest, the strongest, can run the farthest, jump the tallest building, lift the most weight. It's the geek, it's the nerd, it's the accountant, it's the guy with the broken glasses sitting in the back of the room with the, you know how they're taped together, right? And everybody shoves him in the toilet at lunch or in his locker. That guy. The accountant. He understands that this is a business built on probabilities. So while all the other guys are up in the front of the room trying to show off how big they are, bad they are, strong they are, he sits at the back of the room, all nerdish. And pulls a Bill Gates or an Elon Musk and becomes the richest man in the world. Because he understands that the markets are based on probabilities. And once you master probabilities, you master the markets. Period. Doesn't mean you're always right. It means exactly the opposite of that. Love you. I love to teach you more tomorrow. If you let me, come on back. We'll be here. If you haven't taken the trial, take it. If you've already taken the trial, quit fooling around. Let's get busy. Let's get trading. See if we can't make some money together. All right. Anything left in the chat box? Nope, I think we're good. All right, guys. Love you very much. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.
Oh, God.